Hello everyone, welcome back to the discussion on statistical mechanics. So far we have been considering the microcanonical ensemble where energy is fixed, volume fixed and number of particles fixed. So all the things that we studied, we seen up to this point, even though we may not have specified that it is microcanonical ensemble. Remember that all the systems for which this energy is fixed is part of the microcanonical ensemble. Okay, so everything that we have seen so far is microcanonical ensemble, and we were establishing the basis of ensemble theory using a detailed study of the microcanonical ensemble. So in microcanonical ensemble, once again we just revisit what we did. The macro state is defined through fixed number of particles, fixed volume and fixed energy, or we know keeping energy fixed is not that easy. The energy will be varying, so it varies in a small range, E minus delta by 2 to E plus delta by 2. So a fixed energy change, okay, fixed energy or a fixed energy change. Then the basic problem in microcanonical ensemble is determining this omega, the number of microstates corresponding to the energy E, or gamma, this gamma, which is the number of microstates accessible to the system in the energy range E minus delta by 2 to E plus delta by 2. So this is the basic problem in microcanonical ensemble. Once the omega or gamma is determined, it is very easy for us to determine the thermodynamic properties of the system. So the derivation of the thermodynamics of the system is a very straightforward process. Once we have determined this omega or the gamma, the distinct microstates accessible to the system. But for most physical systems, the mathematical problem of determining this gamma or omega is quite difficult. It's a very hard process. For this reason alone, a search for alternative approach, an alternative theory within the framework of the ensemble theory seems necessary. So only because of this reason is quite enough to search for an alternative approach within this framework of ensemble theory to obtain the thermodynamics of the system, because the determination, the mathematical problem of determination of this gamma or omega is quite difficult. Now that is the theoretical difficulty. Practically too, the concept of fixed energy or even an energy change, a fixed energy change for a system belonging to the real world does not appear satisfactory. It's not satisfactory because the concept of fixed energy or the energy changing in a very narrow range, that is too difficult to realize, because first thing is the total energy of the system is hardly ever measured. Okay, when we are doing practical experiments, doing some measurements, the total energy of the system is hardly ever measured. It's not measured. Okay, the total energy actually cannot be measured, the total energy of the system. And another thing is, it is hardly possible, it is not possible to keep its value under strict physical control. So the fixed energy or the fixed range of energy, it's impossible to keep the value, the energy value under strict physical control. This is not possible. Okay, so practically too, the concept of fixed energy does not appear satisfactory. So theoretically we saw it is difficult to calculate. Practically too, it is not satisfactory because of these two reasons. So the fixed energy, the concept of fixed energy in the microcanonical ensemble, instead of that we are considering a better alternative, that is a fixed temperature of the system. A fixed temperature. Instead of speaking in terms of energy, we speak in terms of fixed temperature T of the system. The reason is temperature is a directly observable parameter. So temperature you can directly observe. If you have a thermometer, and if you place a thermometer in contact with the system, you can very easily directly measure this temperature. Another thing is the temperature is a controllable parameter. The temperature is a controllable parameter because by keeping the system in contact with an appropriate heat reservoir, by keeping the system in contact with an appropriate heat reservoir, you can control the temperature of the system. Okay, so here is your system and you put it into thermal contact with the heat reservoir, and that way you can control the temperature of the system. If the temperature of the reservoir is T, the temperature of the system also will be T. So that way you can control the temperature. Okay, so what is a heat reservoir? Most of the purposes, the precise nature of the reservoir is not very relevant. The nature of the heat reservoir is not relevant to us. What is important to us is it should have an infinitely large heat capacity. It should have very large heat capacity or infinite heat capacity, so that irrespective of the energy exchange between the system and the reservoir, okay, the system that will be exchanging energy with the heat reservoir, irrespective of that, the temperature of the reservoir will be a constant, because it has got infinite heat capacity. What that means is any amount of energy, if it is added to the system or added to the reservoir or taken from the reservoir, its temperature will remain a constant because it has got huge heat capacity. Because of that infinite heat capacity, even if you take some energy from the reservoir or add some energy to the reservoir, its temperature will overall a constant temperature can be maintained. Temperature will be a constant. So this is the most important property that is relevant to us regarding the heat reservoir. Okay, now if the reservoir, so this is the basic structure that we consider, heat reservoir, big one and large heat capacity, and the system is in contact, that means it can exchange energy with the heat reservoir. Okay, now if the reservoir consists of an infinitely large number of mental copies of the given system, okay, if the reservoir consists of an infinitely large number of mental copies of the given system, we have once again an ensemble of the system. Okay, mental copies, we have seen that when we defined an ensemble, a given system along with a large number of mental copies of the system is called an ensemble. Okay, so here what we do is we divide this heat reservoir into several such identical copies, replicas of this system. Okay, we divide it into several. Okay, and these copies can exchange energy between them, but their temperature remains a constant. The temperature is same for every such mental copies of the system. Okay, the temperature will be identical T. So we are partitioning this heat reservoir into several small components, each one identical to the system. So you have an ensemble. Okay, the basic definition of ensemble, you know, infinitely large number of mental copies of the system. And this time here the ensemble in which the macro state of the system is defined through the parameters N, V and T, the number of particles, volume and temperature, and such an ensemble is referred to as canonical ensemble. So macro state is defined through parameters, number of particles fixed, volume fixed and temperature fixed. So remember that in the microcanonical ensemble, number of particles, volume and energy was fixed. Here temperature is fixed. Okay, so this is how we represent a canonical ensemble. One of this system is our original system. All of these are mental copies. Actually all of them is actually a reservoir. Okay, the given system and all those systems surrounding this system can be considered as a reservoir. Okay, there will be very large, infinitely very large number of systems surrounding it, and they form actually heat reservoir, and system can exchange energy with all these systems, and the only restriction is the temperature is constant. Temperature is constant. Okay, so in canonical ensemble, the energy of the system is variable. The energy of the system is variable. In principle, it can take values anywhere between 0 and infinity. Okay, it can take any value between 0 and infinity. So practically the total energy, okay, total energy of the heat reservoir, you know, it's a big system and its total energy is huge. So in principle, okay, it can take the system as it is permitted to exchange energy with the heat reservoir. It can take any value from it. So its value can vary from 0 to infinity. Okay, energy is variable. It can vary from 0 to infinity. Now the question is, at any time t, what is the probability that a system in the ensemble is found to be in one of the states characterized by the energy value ER? Okay, so in a canonical ensemble, the system can exchange energy, and in principle it can vary from 0 to infinity. Now suppose that it can take many energy values. What we want to determine is at any time t, what is the probability? Okay, here what is the probability that a system in the ensemble is found to be in one of the states characterized by the energy value ER. Okay, there may be several states with the same energy value ER. So what we want to determine is probability for a system in the ensemble to be in one of the states characterized by the energy value ER, and this probability is denoted by PR. So the basic thing is, the question is, what we are going to do here is, we are going to find PR, the probability for system to be found in one of the states characterized by the energy value ER. Okay, one of the states, that is important. There may be several states with the same energy value. Now there are two ways in which this dependence of PR on ER can be determined. There are two ways. Okay, one consists of regarding the system as in equilibrium with the heat reservoir at a common temperature T, and studying the statistics of the energy exchange between the two. So this is one way of determining or answering this question, PR, finding PR. That is our problem now. So one way of doing that is to consider heat reservoir and the system. The system and heat reservoir can exchange energy, okay, and they will be at constant temperature T, and by studying the statistics of the energy exchange between the two, we determine PR. Okay, that is one way, and actually we are going to do this thing. Another way consists of regarding the system as a member of a canonical ensemble, okay, like this, considering system as a member of canonical ensemble in which energy, total energy, big energy is there, okay, the total energy of the system, I mean the total energy is the energy of the whole total number of systems in the ensemble, that is shared by n, okay. This is not the number of particles in a system, okay, this n is different from this. This is the number of identical systems in the ensemble, okay, this n is the number of identical systems in the ensemble, and studying, so the total energy of the ensemble, the total energy of the ensemble shared by this many identical systems constituting the ensemble, and studying the statistics of this sharing process. And we know how we reach to this. Actually, if you divide this heat reservoir into several identical systems identical to this, you get this ensemble, okay. So you get this second approach. If you divide this heat reservoir into several identical systems, mental copies of the system, okay, you get this. So we expect that the thermodynamic limit, the final result in either case, either we are calculating PR by this approach, just this heat reservoir and system, or by this approach by considering an ensemble, okay. In the thermodynamic limit, the final result in either case would be the same, actually the same. And actually what we are going to do is we follow only this method, we use only this method, and if we follow this method, if you do this one, analysis is carried out using this method, you will get the exactly same result as that of this method, okay. For the time being, we are not going into that, we will be doing only this one, okay, the system immersed in a heat reservoir where the system can exchange energy with the heat reservoir. But surely you can expect questions like what is canonical ensemble? Canonical ensemble, that means, so this is the canonical ensemble where the macro state is defined through the parameters temperature, volume, number of particles, okay. So this is a canonical ensemble.